Well, today we're here at Ventura Raceway with Chris Raschke from ARP and Corey Kruzman from the Corey Kruzman Sprint Car Driving School. Chris, it's kind of a special day. What are you doing here?
Well, we've got some folks out there doing the Western Swing of the NHRA Series, and we've got some folks out from Alanabi Racing and Don Schumacher Racing, and I thought I'd surprise them and bring them down to Corey's school at Ventura Raceway.
Well, you know, Corey, you've had a lot of famous people come through the school, and you've done this for Chris and ARP a lot. Yeah, we have some special people here today from Alanabi Racing and, of course, Don Schumacher Racing. You're going to teach them how to drive a sprint car?
Yeah, it should be exciting. You know, obviously we do quite a vast variety of people. We do about 400 people a year through the school, so it's kind of nice to have somebody that's at a top-notch level of racing. Even though it's racing cars, it's so far different from our realm of racing. So it'd be real interesting to put them out here on the quarter-mile dirt track and see what they can do and sling in some mud.
Well, you know, we were discussing, they run 1,000 feet now, and this thing's about 1,100 feet around the pole. So it's very similar to the distance they run, except a lot of left turns here and a lot of dirt.
Yeah, the first thing I told them is our throttle pedal has more positions than on and off. So, that was the first thing that we're going to try to explain to them, and hopefully they can understand what that is. But I think the biggest sensation of them going 300 miles an hour and coming out here today and going 90 miles an hour, I bet you we end up in the long run of it, this race car is going to feel faster to them than what they do day in and day out.
Well, you've had Ron Capps and Gary Selzy out here a couple years ago, in fact, a long time ago, and they were practicing up to go to the Chili Bowl. That was an experience for you.
Yeah, really it is. You know, we've been very fortunate to have NASCAR guys, IRL guys, and actually even some Formula One guys. So it's pretty exciting for us to branch out into different directions, but it's pretty exciting just to teach them the difference of the balance of the race car, the sliding of the race car. Every form of racing that we do, when a race car gets sideways, the first thing we do is let off the throttle and we try to gain our composure back. And the thing that we really try to concentrate on here is actually rear steering with the throttle. So it's really neat to take an athlete like these guys and to see how we can explain it and how well they can accomplish it.
Thanks, Corey. Back to you, Chris. Chris, there's a lot of things that go on at ARP. You guys are the premier maker of fasteners in the industry, and you have a lot of these guys using your stuff, and you tend to bring them out there, and you show them a good time out here. Do you always use Corey?
Well, yeah, he's the best sprint car school in town, and it's good that you can show them a little bit of something different from their daily driver. And then I get to show them how we make bolts, which is very important. That takes them back when they go to the track, and they can it changes the way they look at things.
Well, I know you guys do an excellent job, and you are the premier maker of fasteners, and actually a very big company in Ventura County. Thanks, Chris, for coming out here to Ventura Raceway.
Thanks for having us.
We're here at Ventura Raceway at the Corey Kruzman Sprint Car Driving School. The folks from ARP are visiting here, and who do we have?
Phil Schuler, co-crew chief of the battery extender dragster driven by Spencer Massey.
Whoa, that's a lot. Do you have to remember all that?
No, and Don Schumacher Racing.
Yes. Okay, this is a kind of a big deal. You're out here because you're going to do the West Coast Swing. You're going to be at Sonoma this weekend, and you're here to visit. We got a beautiful day here in Ventura. What was it like to drive a sprint car for your very first time?
It was pretty interesting. I built engines back in my earlier days before drag racing for some late model dirt track guys and stuff, and I drove one of those a few laps one day, but this is definitely an experience. It was pretty awesome. Yeah,
Chris Raschke at ARP, he kind of arranges this stuff. He'll call us when he knows you guys are coming out, borrows the racetrack, gets Corey out here, and this is a lot of fun for somebody like you because you get to experience sometimes what you guys have done.
Yeah, it's a different experience. We really appreciate him getting all this hand put together for us. We didn't really know anything about it till we got here, and it's pretty awesome.
Now let's talk drag racing because that's what you're an expert at. Spencer Massey, great race car driver. Drag racing, is it as hard as it looks? We talk about a lot of times dividing that 4 seconds up into whatever you guys have to divide it in with all this information.
The biggest difference I would say than any of the round track racing is you only get one shot at it. You don't get another lap to make it up or any of that. It's one shot, and if you don't get it, you're done.
No pit stops, you can't pull her in, make adjustments, there's nothing. Expensive. Is it really like $10,000 down the drain every time you fire that baby up and run it at 1,000 feet?
That's probably a cheap number, but that figures in all your logistics of getting everything to all the 24 race series and however many runs you make in a year. If you have a good year, you make about 180 to 190 runs and cost about $3.5 million to do it. So if you just divide that up, it's probably $18,000 a run.
So you're with Don Schumacher Racing. You have quite a few teams. How many teams in that big building that you guys have?
We have 7 teams, 4 funny car teams, and 3 top fuel teams.
So is there a lot of sharing of information? Does that help you guys so you don't have to test so much?
Yeah, one thing we try to keep is a good chemistry among all the crew chiefs and try not to let anybody struggle too bad. And there's a lot of help there. You just got to go ask for it and get it.
Now, you said you're a co-crew chief. What happened to the days we just had a crew chief? Is there that much work going on?
Strength in numbers. It's a lot going on. It's a lot to keep up with and a lot to get correct. So the more brain power, the better.
Now, there's 16 cars in the first round. 8 win and 8 lose. That's got to be the toughest round.
Definitely. It is not good to be in the first round lounge.
That's what you guys call it?
Yep, that's it. When you're done working at 11:45 on Sunday, it's not a good weekend.
So, but if you go to the drag races, you see you guys go right back to the pits. You do the tear down. You go through everything. Are you getting ready for next week?
Yeah, when you're done, you get the car all serviced. You want to inspect the chassis, kind of every weekly race maintenance, and get everything made. And Denver's a little different schedule because you make a lot of changes to go to Denver, and then a lot when you go back to sea level at Sonoma.
Yeah, because it's what, 5,000 some odd feet in the air, and that's. You guys, do you pump a lot more air in it? That's what they say. I mean, I'm just a guy that listens to some of this stuff.
You do a lot with the compression, blower overdrive. The corrected air in Denver was about 9,600 density altitude, and probably this weekend in Sonoma, you'd be hard pressed to get it much over 2,000.
Yeah, and we're here at sea level today, so you're running a 360 sprint car. Are you having a good time?
Oh, this is pretty awesome. It's definitely a different experience, but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, on behalf of all of us, Ventura Raceway, Corey Kruzman, and ARP, thanks for coming out, and we hope you enjoy it, and good luck this weekend at Sonoma.
Thank you, sir, and thanks everybody for having us here. It's a pretty awesome deal.
We're back here at Ventura Raceway again. I have my buddy Tom Spence with me. We have a very special guest. Your name?
Khalid Al-Balushi.
Khalid Al-Balushi drives for Alan Abbey Racing. Alan Johnson, couldn't get any better team in the world, right?
Yeah, a lot of the competition over there, a lot of the good car in every show. You got a DSR car, John Foster's car, a lot of the different car. But yeah, we are one of the top maybe team in the show.
Now you're out here at Ventura Raceway driving on dirt. This is not what you do for a living. What does this feel like?
Something different, but you know, really nice to drive something you never been drive and try to see what the difference between here and over there. Yeah, here with your stuff, not that much horsepower, but you feel it with a lightweight car and in the dirt. You know, you've been feeling something.
Yeah, there's not a lot of traction out there sometimes, is there?
Yeah. Not a lot of the traction, and sometimes when you're pushing the throttle, you feel the engine been revving and everything, but the car is not going anywhere, been spinning the tire.
So outside of the fact of the thrill of racing, are there any skills you can apply from drag racing to this at all, or is this a completely different experience?
No, it's still the experience is close to will be same. You know, when the car been going sideways or when the car been spinning the tire, you need to be careful with the throttle body and be careful with the steering when the car been sideways.
So you didn't have such a good week last week. We all documented that at Denver. Now you're going to Sonoma. You're looking for a better weekend.
Yeah, I hope so. Especially when been taking our luck here to driving your stuff here.
The other thing is you're close to your the team owner. Alan Johnson's home's up north, and that's where you're going to be. So this ought to be a lot of good luck.
Yeah, I hope so.
We want to wish you good luck at this weekend, and thanks for coming to Ventura Raceway to the Corey Kruzman Sprint Car Driving School.
Thank you for you guys, and thanks for everybody been taking us here, take around to see what's going on.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Spence with Jim Naylor here at the Ventura Raceway with horsepower for an hour. What a display we got for this afternoon, Jim. Tell us about how you got these drag racers to come out here and try your dirt track.
Well, we're very fortunate. We have a great relationship with ARP Automotive Racing Products, maker of the best fasteners in the world. That's nuts and bolts to us normal people. Chris Raschke, been a friend of mine for over 30 years. He works at ARP. He said, hey, can we borrow your track today? Sure. He called up Corey Kruzman, said, can we get some sprint cars? And we have some great guys from Alan Abbey Racing and Don Schumacher Racing out here running around in sprint cars today.
Now let's talk a little bit about Corey and what he does and how he trains and teaches people out on your dirt track.
Well, to start out with, he's a very gifted race car driver, and he's gifted at talking to people. I don't know, about 15, 20 years ago, I actually asked him to come here and do some things, and Gary Selzy was here, Ron Capps was here, and a couple other people. I said, come on down, can you help these guys? He started helping them, and I said, you need to do this for a living, and he's doing it for a living. He's a great, great teacher. In fact, he's parlayed that into teaching a lot of people in the short course off-road truck series.
Now, Jim, along with your long experience here at the dirt track, you know all racing. You follow all forms of racing. What do you see as applicable skills when somebody comes out here that basically drives incredibly fast and very straight, and then they have to deal with these turns pretty tight and pretty quick?
Well, I think anytime you can race on dirt where the cars go sideways and you got to steer it with the throttle and the steering wheel, so you got to coordinate that activity, that's what it really does. So if you're driving a funny car and it gets loose, you know what they call blows the tires off of it, and you want to get back on it, you're not so scared. A lot of people, you watch these asphalt guys that run on the high bank tracks, once they get sideways, they're done. They crash into the wall. You watch Jeff Gordon or some of these guys that race dirt, they get sideways, they power through it, and you see them power through it, and they save it. I think that's a great attribute. I think every race car driver ought to spend some time with Corey Kruseman or at a great school maybe on dirt so they can learn how to drive cars.
So this is literally seat of your pants. It's real as it's happening right here at Ventura Raceway.
I think that's the best way to describe it. If you drive on dirt, most of the feeling comes right through the old butt, and you know what you're doing then.
Okay, if folks do want to drive in dirt, how do they do that?
You can call the Corey Kruseman Sprint Car Driving School, and I'll tell you what, Corey's on the internet. Check him out. You can just look him up, make an appointment with him, and he runs schools here. He runs schools at Paris Auto Speedway. If you want to go faster, he does a great job.
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. The track is beautiful. What a day here on the coast with Horsepower for an Hour, and Jim Naylor here at the Ventura Raceway and Corey Kruseman.